Gabby the game night, Gabby the game night, Gabby the game night, yay.
Hey, it's Gabby the Game Night here, and I'm back playing some more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations, back from Basie, and it's February 10th, 9:39 a.m., District Court Defendant Lobby number 1. Good morning! Oh, are you by yourself?
Morning, Pearls.
Mr. Nick, please tell me, what's going to happen to Missing Maya?
I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple.
Oh, I see. So is Sister Aya still trying to move those trick locks in the training hall?
No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court.
Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, it's kind of strange.
Who is this?
Godot? No, Edgeworth. I figured it was one of them.
Yeah.
Hey, Edgeworth, I thought you were Godot. What's Iris doing over there?
She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak.
Today's testimony?
You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution.
Wait, what?
Pardon? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession, or so I heard.
Franziska von Karma, what are you up to?
I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. Is Godot back?
What? Then who is?
Who else would it be but Godot?
Godot?
Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern. Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's... Exactly. She's been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. And with the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon.
Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth.
Are we, in this case, gonna last 3 hours and something's gonna happen? Professor? He's become a professor now. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow.
You don't have to tell me that.
Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday.
It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger.
Interesting. Maybe you've passed on your cold on to someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner.
Thanks.
Let's fucking do this!
I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Denim. No, I mean Miss Misty Fay.
Mommy Faye.
The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen.
This case is gonna be a doozy.
And what that woman is really after.
I mean, that's probably correct.
I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. For I am Phoenix Wright.
Bring this
a
trilogy
Super
to an
Saiyan.
end. February 10th at 10 a.m. District Court number 7. Damn, not District Court number 10. Court is now in session for trial. Iris has a good temple. Oh, hey, regular judge is back.
Your Honor? Well, what are you?
Ooh, me? Oh, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scourging fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him.
I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot.
My poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There's only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. the bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug.
So then you mean... forget it, what do you mean?
During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make.
Confession? The defendant?
Iris, why didn't you discuss this with me first?
Very well. Let's go on now, hear the defense. Confession.
Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. That's what you're supposed to do as a prosecutor anyway.
My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something that you want to confess to?
Yes, but first, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. It's alright. What is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you're the one who murdered Miss Elise Durham?
No. I just realized you sound like a muppet when you do the judge's voice.
Fuck yeah.
I guess you're gonna be like one of the denizens of Bear in the Big Blue House, or you're hanging out with Tutter.
The fucking Muppet judge. I used to talk about everyone's Muppets.
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it.
What? Order in the court. Order. Witness, are you saying you're an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? No. This is looking bad for This is looking bad for us.
3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat.
Everyone, the plan is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case, it's to murder.
Goodell, what the fuck are you saying?
Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
Can you get his name right?
Dr. Doe. He's doing it on purpose. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris' testimony was all a lie.
I was a comfortable with something in her pocket. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions?
Iris was covering for someone. Now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle or a life jacket. I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself if need be to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey. Uh-huh.
Wake up and smell the coffee, Wright.
She's naming Maya?
Order in the court. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murder?
God, this is another case where Maya's getting blamed.
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes.
Maya tried not to get blamed for murder.
Okay, so this is Maya's aunt. This is Maya's aunt channeling her dead daughter, pretending to be her other daughter, framing Maya. I mean, that wouldn't be out of the question for a Phoenix Wright game at this point.
Alright, Iris is actually a parrot.
And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her.
A parrot that loves spinach.
That's fucking ridiculous.
The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor. I thought I was prepared for the unexpected. But I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
So it was in self-defense?
Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya won't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal.
Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Hold it.
Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that you, on the night of the murder, didn't go to the inner temple.
Did she now? Too bad for you. What you said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go?
It was in the inner temple. It was in the inner temple's training hall.
A private conversation between two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay.
What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at the time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she?
No.
I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder.
There, we all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor. Okay, so someone killed Mystic Elise, then channeled her. I guess that wouldn't really work, though, because doesn't the spirit being channeled have... They're not, like, out of control. They kind of control the person, don't they?
Well, no, the spirit controls whoever's channeling them.
That's what I'm saying, so that wouldn't really work. Okay, so back to my earlier theory.
This testimony is bullshit, obviously.
Okay. So back to my theory that this is Morgan Fay channeling her dead daughter to impersonate her other daughter to frame her niece. You're saying that the victim attacked Maya? I mean Miss Fay? Yes. It was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse. What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting? I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock.
That's perfectly understandable.
This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute.
What happened after that?
Well, Miss... She moved in to deliver a fatal strike? Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. A dagger, huh? And Elise Denim tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Fay. Yes, exactly.
Huh. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy?
Do I have a problem with our testimony?
Well, I mean, the staff's a sword, so why would she pull out a dagger? Why'd she throw down the staff and pull out some other weapon?
Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
You do? This witness is your own client.
Yeah, well, nevertheless.
Also, no dagger. That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that.
Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Okay, now, let's continue.
You're a staff room. What a dagger for inside
We don't reread that.
Yeah, I know.
Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events.
Huh?
Mr. Nim throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with the staff is hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword.
Ah.
If Elisa Nim really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. I said already twice. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say?
That was an impressive bit of investigating, Wright. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how shall I put this? A longsword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close-quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade.
Well...
Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony.
But there is something strange about this whole testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution had a point.
Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument.
Oh, fuck.
Mr. Wright, I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elise Nim would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey.
I guess the Master's Talisman.
I guess.
Or not. Do I have it in a profile or something that she's Mr. Fey?
Possibly. Just kidding, Your Honor.
Yeah, probably. Okay, I'm shy. There's multiple things. God. My bad. No, what am I supposed to show? Okay, I am supposed to show that.
Elise Nim would never have attacked Maya Fey.
Never mind.
How can you be so sure?
But still, it's annoying.
Because the victim's real name was not Elise Nim. Her real name was Misty Fey.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Fey? No, not Mystic Misty Fey.
Who is this Misty Fey? What is she related to?
Misty Fey is the master of the Korean channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey.
Are you serious?
Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Nim actually the great mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps... Wait, never mind. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing.
Order in the court. Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away his sword during the fight, and two, that the two people battering to the death, mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable and taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe.
Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible. Except for one little thing.
Yes, was this one no possible thing?
Huh. Still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps.
Could you get to your points?
I heard this witness's confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee.
How much coffee do you drink? You're going to ruin your health, my friend.
Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime, and he discovered this little beauty. Where'd that come from?
Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing?
Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else?
Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. You don't have to look that closely, it's kind of obvious.
Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene.
Yeah, that's because you suck at investigating. Did you investigate the pine tree? The pine tree at the crime scene.
Uh-huh. The pine tree.
This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree, with the last blow struck, ending the violent battle between the two women. This little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree.
Which means the blood in this dagger belongs to the victim, correct?
Ha! Were you even listening, old man? First heard this confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Bro!
Didn't you say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago?
I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice.
In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately.
There's my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right.
Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately.
Oh, okay.
Now then, the testimony we've just heard has numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible.
Okay, but like, why? Can we have some more evidence? Cute girls never lie, ever. That's very false. Like, have you met Dahlia? You have met Dahlia.
In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court.
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw, the bow between the two women.
Yes, Your Honor.
This Dahlia pretending to be Iris, and that's why she's lying.
I thought about that, but I'm not sure how that happened.
I don't know. Maybe Iris can't actually channel spirits.
What would that have to do with anything?
Channeling Dahlia's spirit.
Oh, I thought you meant that Dahlia had survived, and maybe Iris had died, and Dahlia had taken her place. Nah. Oh yeah, that's so fucking out of the question.
Oh no, it's not unbelievable. I believe that the Iris we've seen is the real Iris.
Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff, but then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern.
Stab, stab.
That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
That was a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there are any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
Maya's still in the cave. She's gonna have some bad news when she gets out. I'm presumably still in the cave.
Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this? Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle. I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fay do after she was struck? Hold it.
What happened to the victim's staff, then? I'm not sure. The area is very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense. Now explain the need for the dagger.
Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up. Nothing sounds especially strange yet.
What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her?
You're saying that Maya Fay turned the tables on the victim? Yes. Missing Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger. I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point is just silly.
As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal.
I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified.
Your animal analogies have grown tiresome.
You were the one who started it.
Anyway, so after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone island, what happened next?
You're absolutely certain that's what you saw? Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost. The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who. What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely.
We know that Maya Fey was in the inner temple that night, and that the woman that was killed was Elise Dunem. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who?
I don't have anything to counter that yet.
Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. Two of them faced each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground.
So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh?
Yes. Where did that dagger go? I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck in the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle.
That is the most likely explanation, yes.
After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away? Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while, and Mystic Maya stood there not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over. Seems like a reasonable story at first, but there's one thing that's completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone. That alone is impossible, which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere.
We do not have very much. Seriously, like nothing. What do we have here? I'm confused. Alright, some people have been held to hate, stabbed, and she died. Son is to leave. Damn it. Stab and back. That's if she was stabbed in the back then. You're lying.
Something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony? According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? Yes, that's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right?
Yes, I think so.
But, according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony.
What was the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
Huh. It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and back. You get my drift? What are you... Huh?
Is that all you have to say?
Yeah? I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind.
Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away useful salve, the people fighting being mother and daughter. And now, she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach.
That's only awesome inconsistencies.
Well, Iris, how about it? Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing.
What do you mean?
There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee, but to pick out each one requires total concentration and use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what the witness actually said?
Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself.
The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light.
Light?
By the way, did you know, Hazuko has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit.
I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for.
Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly?
Normally, yes, Your Honor, but according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern.
Impossible.
It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all.
Most enlightening.
Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Wright?
No!
Here, Your Honor, let me present the stone lantern to evidence. Maybe it will rekindle the flame of truth in the mind.
Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face?
What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot?
This lantern. There's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood.
Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet.
Written in blood?
It says Maya upside down.
What the? Godot didn't know about it either?
Oh, yes, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing on that stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body.
But why would it be upside down?
It certainly looks that way.
Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about?
What do you mean, what are we all talking about?
We're talking about the message written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Are you blind?
Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday.
Oh. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these shoes goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Oh, yeah, he does kind of have it. Yeah.
So that's what he meant by that.
In any case, there's obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message onto the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? Mr. Godot?
Okay then. Let's move on.
Godot is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose.
I believe it has now been established that Mr. Nim was killed by Maya Fey.
No?
That's just wrong.
Now it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. Sister Iris's cover.
After Mr. Lees died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way to Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple. And I used the Shishido to alter the way the wound looked.
Should we move the body?
Yes, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fae Clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise Denim was actually Misty Fae. I've committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate.
I believe you're looking for Twisted Fates, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but
You were spotted by the head nun, correct?
yes, and that's why I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sister Iris's cover up. Sister Iris's cover up.
So you waited until everything was over before making a move? No, it's not like that.
She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid.
Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion.
Isn't it your job as the judge to mediate the argument? It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done. So then you knew? You knew the significance of the name Maya Fey? Yes, of course I did. That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position. Anyway, she was a very special person indeed. Why did you do that? Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene.
You moved your body all by yourself.
Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow. The snow, huh? It's pretty amazing you can make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge. It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age.
It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch you in a simple cold.
But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple. I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible.
Huh, makes perfect sense to me, for the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge?
The snowmobile. I knew that would show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details?
About the snowmobile.
Let me hear more about the snowmobile ride. It was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge.
I'm sorry, miss, but now, I've got a problem with your testimony.
Excuse me? Godot, what are you up to now?
That night, after the head nun left the remainder of training to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple.
Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates.
Let's recall her comments on the subject. Maybe. But when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, It was there by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. There's one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say? Thanks for the assist, Godot, I guess.
Oh, Mr. Godot, why are you pointing out contradiction in the witness's testimony?
Let's say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay?
Well, maybe. Sister Bikini missed it. Yeah, maybe she didn't see it. You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right.
Huh. Whatever. Even I don't think they're decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just... you'd better be careful in your testimony. That's all I want to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that.
Yes, sir. What was that all about? Why would Godot want to give me a hint?
Very well then, let's continue with the testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile, all the way to the Hazuko Temple courtyard.
Yes, I thought that way Mystic Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought anyway. And then I... Is that what you were doing when Sister Bikini saw you? Yes, that's right. She probably thought the worst. Probably? More like definitely.
I see. So Sister Bikini mistakenly thought you were the one that murdered Mr. New.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's my fault that this case has gotten so confusing. I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she want to do that? The one reason I can think of. Maya stole her lunch money.
I'll ask all the questions about the snowmobile. It's probably not going to be big detail, but...
If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right?
Well, yes, naturally you would expect facts.
This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. And these are the tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazuko Temple.
I see, snow was still falling, huh?
And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. White? What do you think about this testimony?
Wait, let me look at my weather report. 10:45. Okay, yeah, wait, you see the snow stopped at 10:50. Lightning struck at 10:45. So I mean, I'm just saying.
But are you Super Saiyan? When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Doesn't make sense if you stack it up against other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony.
But, does it have something to do with the case?
Yes, it does.
All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record.
Huh. This should be fun. Let's get the snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Now hang on, let me stop that. Which means the lightning will struck. Lightning will struck.
This evidence clearly reveals the contradiction in that statement, Your
The
Honor.
lightning will struck.
Mr. Wright, please stop fucking up.
I'm sorry. Am I wrong? I'm just saying. Am I reading wrong? 10:45 caused a fire. Snow stopped at 10:50, meaning there'd be a freaking fire on Dusky Bridge, meaning you couldn't get across it.
Are you presenting the same thing twice?
No, I'm pressing.
Oh, there have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true? Yes, I am. When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear. That's right. I'm certain of it. I think I've trapped her this time.
Oh, now we're gonna say something back?
See how you think. Snow, huh?
Why are you stealing my voice?
Because I should have been like, I see how you think. Snow, huh?
Fuck you.
What's going on here?
If the snow really had stopped by the time of the murder, it'd mean there's a bigger hole in her story than the movie The Grid Revelations.
What are you talking about? Huh, well then, Mr.
Trite.
Perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us.
just leaking out here and there.
Let's see what's up your sleeve. Or rather, at the end of your index finger.
Governor? And that doesn't even make sense. Mate? Just throw. See what you're up to, mate.
Okay, what do you want me to present then, game?
The picture of the fire?
I could. I'm saving just in case, because this game is bullshit on me. Fire! Big fire on bridge. Burning it. You can't get across when burning. What? Fire! Fire on bridge!
Maybe that's not the right place.
Well, what?
Hold on, skip. Can I see?
Let me load.
Okay.
Get my health back of this.
Let me see all her testimony.
And drag by milk way across dusty bridge.
Maybe present it there.
Oh, fuck you, game.
You claimed the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible.
What?
This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time.
Why do you say that?
Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and it caught on fire.
What did you say? The bridge? It was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It's because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down.
What? But it can't be.
It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney.
No.
Order, order, order!
I have a cheeseburger, Your Honor. Also, the bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already... Sorry.
Already?
was already totally cut off from the outside world. The hell was that? There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body.
Witness, even my patience has its limits. And for the lying, and I'll find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man.
Me? How dare you?
But this witness lied now doesn't mean squat right now. It means a lot.
Squat?
The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right?
Yes, of course, but...
Whether there's snowing or not snowing, whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Dunim was discovered in the Housecourt Temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Pekin. Witness Iris desecrating Elise Dunim's body.
He makes a good point on both accounts. That's right. I'm not lying.
What are you claiming this time?
Liar. I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory's still somewhat hazy. You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy?
There's only human to err. If you're so perfect, right, maybe you can explain this for the court.
What is it?
When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. but somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of explanation for this little magic trick.
Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt-out bridge. But unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth.
She flew! Larry saw it! I have no idea what's going on in this case. It's like a defense, not prepared to offer suitable explanation. See what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony is the truth. I mean, we can kind of prove this line. Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more.
About what, Your Honor?
Admit that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained no rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Will this be her final testimony?
It's the final testimony. Okay.
Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling, or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much?
Yes.
Are you saying that there's a way to cross the burning bridge?
Okay, I'm going straight to the last piece of evidence presenting Larry's wrong. I don't care if it's right or not. So it's just a misunderstanding. I see. There's a fall of the dusky bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. Beautiful. Surely it was burnt to a crisp, man. One of the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly, it'd be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition.
Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth, and Maya will be accused of murder.
That's right. I'm only going to say it one more time. It's only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways.
The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes.
Alright, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. Final cross-examination.
Other than walking, okay.
I'm doing exactly what I said I was going to do. There's a way across the burning bridge called flying. I'm so smart.
A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility.
I'm so smart. What? Huh. You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air.
I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen.
Preposterous. Who is it? Who is this witness?
Can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go. Ms. Louise Denim's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Laurice Denim.
I had trouble getting through that without laughing. Highly gifted
Apprentice? Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall, and that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night.
Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And using this pathetic scribble to support your argument?
Uh-oh. Judging by he's about to blow a gasket.
Huh. Well, Wright, there's no for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, did the sketch prove anything? Okay, to be fair, I think that sketch is a bit better than a 6-year-old. Just saying, it's not a horrible sketch. I mean, it's a pretty simple thing.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm going to prove it.
Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. You're so eager to turn this case upside down. Why not start with this sketch?
Upside down. Why did Godot say that?
Turn the sketch upside down?
They weren't flying, they were falling.
Well, exactly, this sketch to our show.
I don't think old Whiskerface is going to forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn by Larice Denim is...
Exactly what happened, I guess.
Oh yeah, the codes will be a bomb, I guess. Interesting.
I'm saving just in case. Oh, you'd be saving. That's exactly what happened.
Of course, the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh!
That's not what I mean.
You know, you're starting to piss me off.
That's not what... You know, you're talking about me yesterday's witness. Phoenix, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Well, why do I need to read it if we're going to redo this?
That's not what I meant, Phoenix. Phoenix, you dum-dum. I'm just loading my save. I don't feel like going back through all that. Fine, a complete contradiction, I guess.
Something is obviously funny about this sketch.
No, critic, but even I can see that.
No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Larice Denim stated it over and over, that this sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality?
Huh, this is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, fine, so what exactly contradicts reality as you know it?
Why are you speaking in green now, Godot?
What exactly contradicts reality as we know it? I mean, the person flying?
Maybe the wires, though.
Yeah, the wires. Amplify the wires.
It's this wire connected to the bridge.
The wire? Huh. Is that the thing that contradicts reality?
Yeah, it is indeed.
Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that'll point out how the sketch contradicts reality. We only have the one good picture, right? That's a picture, right? That's not. I believe we only have the one bridge in the picture. Yeah. That should do. Yeah, it shows the wires at the bottom.
Kablamo! That's for Dusky Bridge, correct?
Yes, now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge,
Jumping...
Jehoshaphat, the wires are below the guard wires.
What?
Your Honor?
I did not go into the force.
Order!
Comment down below if that sounded more like the judge than Godot.
It was surprised Godot spitting out his coffee.
Yeah, and the judge's voice.
Fuck you.
What?
What?
This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong?
Or perhaps he just drew it wrong.
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong.
No.
With someone like Larice, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason?
Are you saying you know the answer to that?
Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larice was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Heavenly Hall, waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Larice must have been in at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did.
He was lying on his back. Can't see how it relates.
But it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
Ah! No way.
Maurice Denim witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down.
What does this mean, though? What does this mean for us?
So then, the sketch should actually...
I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Maurice Denim's sketch is like this.
What does this mean, though?
This is how it should actually look.
Who was jumping off the bridge?
The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum.
What? Ridiculous.
Your Honor?
Oh, stop. Look, sir. Of all the things to say, a pendulum?
His Australian should have come out when he did that. but no, I ain't even trying that. Never mind. Ridiculous. No. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous, mate. Anyway, the bridge was. The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side, and a pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Thanks, why it's so fucking ridiculous.
Or ridiculous.
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? The Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff.
Yeah, that sounds right.
In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you'd have to plan ahead.
The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them.
What?
I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there.
This is so stupid.
In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. Your game theory!
Well, they're using the criminal had a rope one hand to create a pendulum.
I mean, well, see, it's right there.
I mean, what this is?
If you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard.
Ah! This is one of the wires from the bridge.
And you thought the flying thing in the one case was ridiculous? When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire.
Thanks, why it's fucking stupid.
One of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Denim's body.
Walk like a charm.
Because there was simply no other way to move the body.
Throw the body in the river? Nah! Swing it across! Beautiful! Thank you for doing the glug sounds, mate. I'll make sure to put you on the glug sounds in the credits.
Mr. Godot!
I forgot.
It seems that Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems the odds of a book being readily available very high. I suppose that's not an impossibility after all.
I hate when he does that.
What?
When he does that and the coffee just shoots up and comes back down. Like, it's not going to do that. It's going to splash everywhere. He may even break the cup. But every time just bloop, bloop. It just looks so stupid.
Possible or impossible, that's not the question we need to ask. It's only one question. Did that really happen? Right, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence the body was swung over like a pendulum?
I mean, I thought we just proved it, but...
No, but we have this. It's found near the bridge.
That's kind of weak.
Whoa, they were talking about body being swung over the bridge. Do you have anything else to prove that?
I don't know.
I mean... they're like bits of rope around her anyway.
Uh-huh.
This is the only thing I got.
Well, it's not like she would have been holding on to her staff.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The staff was also found on the other side.
Okay, maybe. I guess. Whatever. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple.
So there. And that's the spot with the criminal.
Yes, precisely. Now let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance.
Oh my fucking god. That's a drop!
What kind of evidence? Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet, huh?
That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum and it came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal is the one that came off Miss Elise Denim's staff.
This is so stupid.
And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found.
Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. The crystal's found.
Precisely, Your Honor. Indeed. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed.
That explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. Don't provide us with the way the body got removed that night.
This is fucking stupid.
Impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive.
I'm not sure there really would have been enough momentum to carry the body all that way if you just kind of
Mr. Wright?
smoothly pushed it over the edge.
Except this smoothly pushed it.
Oh, so you think she lifted it up high in the air and then ran and shoved it off?
I don't fucking know, man. It's
I
okay.
think if it just rolled, it would just go a little bloop, and then just kind of dangle there under the bridge.
We still don't know exactly what happened.
Thoughtless cold coffee might help cool you down.
Oh yeah, that's my voice. I thought this cold coffee might help
cool you down. See, I can do Godot.
What's the meaning of this, Mr. Godot?
Are you complaining about me doing a voice?
No. Maybe.
Fuck you. You complain about you doing two main voices, but when I have voices, you're like, hey, you complain.
That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Trite.
That was a dark and bitter guess they made, right? But you forgot about one thing.
Oh, what would that be?
Oh, and what'd that be?
The aroma. Huh?
Huh? A coffee's most reliable accomplice is deep and profound aroma.
The rest of the court doesn't speak coffee-nese. Can you elaborate a bit more?
If the criminal had sent the body to the other side, like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
An accomplice? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So who collected the body?
So I was drinking some water. My sister came down and stopped me for me.
What do you have to say about that?
What do you have to say about that, right?
I am Diego Montoya.
Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do.
Yeah, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazuko Temple without an accomplice.
Fuck is going on in this case?
Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who is the person that received the body on the Hazuko temple side?
I mean, she's in prison.
So far as we know.
She could only be there by being channeled by someone. Which everyone we know who could have channeled her was on the inner temple side. Maya, Paul, Misty. I mean, I guess technically Bikini could have, but doubtful. I'm not sure if she... Yeah, I mean, probably. But doubtful. We know Iris claimed to never go to the inner temple. And she was seen on that side. So, It pretends that Iris did do something here.
Yeah, do it.
I don't like it, but...
It can only be you, Sister Iris. I don't think that was right. Music's still playing.
I mean, they got unique dialogue.
Huh? But I...
Usually you don't have unique dialogue for a wrong answer.
I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. With her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it.
Right, we're even listening to the witness's testimony. On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after a mother-daughter bloodbath.
I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time.
Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help, so you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing, unless you're not really Irish to begin with. What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright?
What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying that this witness isn't the Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Are you serious, Wright? You mean this woman is?
There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman is standing there at the witness stand. Her real name is...
Dahlia, I presume? I mean, no one else quite looks like Iris.
I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Hawthorne?
Sister Iris had a twin sister, and you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless.
It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. God, this case is so interesting.
Oh yes, I remember now. That case. That cat. That case 5 years ago. Well, no cat in the courtroom.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. And the honor is all mine.
Stop paying.
No, the honor is all mine. I'm still making the same face 5 years later. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead since her execution was carried out last month.
So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom.
What? Order, order!
Wait a moment. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of... You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of Korean channeling technique flows within that body.
Korean channeling technique? Never ever heard that.
That's right. You're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium.
What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone. On the very night of the murder, to a temple where her twin sister Iris was.
Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes.
We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens. Who says it's coincidence?
Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions. What's that? These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple.
2 of them.
Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means that the Iris that was at the dinner was the real Iris.
And the Iris who gave me the hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Do you even know what you're saying, Wright? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that he found plants that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris.
What?
Calm down and remember what you know about the diet of crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was there that the body was moved by Pinchner.
That's right.
Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall, where they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention cell.
Yes, I suppose. I can't deny any of that. Thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced. But something still seems off, way off. I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night.
Huh. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia. Somehow switched places.
Switched places? Perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
Yeah. When
Yes.
she was out at the temple.
She did escape from Edgeworth for a moment.
Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance.
Oh? Explain yourself.
Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
I mean, we didn't know. It's clearly spelled out. There was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who would give the murder suspect time to move freely? But yeah.
I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris the chance to freely move about was...
It's Edgeworth boy. You know, he kind of got scared.
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
An earthquake?
Oh no! Earthquake! Oh my goodness! The inner temple! This kind of tremor might... How could I have... She fled. She escaped.
We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here, no judge in his right mind will consider the idea of spirit channeling and...
Be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That voice.
Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for a name and profession. That's one of my rules.
Dahlia Hawthorne, and my current profession? Permanently retired.
Huh. So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What's going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again, and I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her, and for myself.
Thanks for watching this episode of Gabby the Game Night. Like, comment, subscribe. Good to have you. See you multiple on it.
Ridiculous!
Good night.
Gabby the Game Night, Gabby the Game Night, Gabby the Game Night, yay! Come on and watch her play. New games every other day. If you subscribe now, you won't miss out on any of the action. So come on, click that subscribe button.